Not that it's going to make Oklahoma fans happy, but there has been no slowing down whatsoever for USC quarterback Caleb Williams after hopping over to the Trojans from the Sooners this offseason. Williams with 4 touchdowns just last week, 2 passing, 2 rushing. His second game putting up more than 284 passing yards. His third straight game completing at least 2/3 of his passes. He is also, Jeremiah, one of only 3 players in the nation with 0 interceptions, a completion percentage of at least 70%, and at least touchdowns. So yeah, not missing a single beat there. Taking a look at odds to win the Heisman right now, Ohio State quarterback CJ Stroud is the favorite, followed by Caleb Williams, Bryce Young, and then Stetson Bennett over Georgia. A little bit more of a distant fourth. Let's welcome in 2-time Super Bowl winner, former Florida State Seminole Bryant McFadden here, giving us bold predictions for Week 4. BMAC, let's start with USC. You have a bold prediction involving Caleb Williams, but you're also throwing CJ Stroud on top of the mix as well. What is it?
Yeah, the top 2 favorites currently for the Heisman, as you just showed us on the graphic, Amanda. You might not like this because Caleb Williams used to play for your beloved Oklahoma Sooners, but he's been hot as fish grease currently, and the same can be said for CJ Stroud. So my bold prediction for both players playing against conference opponents. You talk about Ohio State playing against Wisconsin, USC playing against Oregon State. I believe both quarterbacks will combine for at least 8 passing touchdowns. They've been outstanding so far, especially CJ Stroud, seeing what he was able to do last week, an explosion of points. The chemistry is there, and you look at the numbers coming from Caleb Williams out west from Los Angeles. He's been spectacular as well. I think both quarterbacks will continue to have a huge day, so they both will combine for at least, the bare minimum, 8 passing touchdowns.
USC at Oregon State, Wisconsin at Ohio this weekend. 8 touchdowns between the two for Bryant McFadden there. All right, bold predictions Week 4 here. You have Penn State hosting Central Michigan. I think you said what? As hot as fish oil? What did you say?
Fish grease. Fish grease.
Okay.
You know that fish grease is hot.
It is hot. So you were in Auburn last week. I feel like they would have some good fish fries down there. Not sure if you went to one. But you got to see Nicholas Singleton in person, and you have a bold prediction involving him. What is it?
Oh, man, Nicholas Singleton is real good. He is real good. Young, but extremely talented. And when he is at his best, their offense, they're at their best. And my bold prediction for Mr. Singleton is this week against Central Michigan, the bare minimum running-wise, rushing yards, at least 200. We've seen what he's been able to do, especially over the last 2 starts. He's gained a lot of traction in regards to national recognition. Against Auburn, 124 yards, only on 10 carries. Against Ohio, the week before they played Auburn, 179. He's only averaging 10 carries per ball game, but yet is still giving off a lot of production. I think we will see more than 10 carries, and because of that, we will see at least 200 yards from Mr. Singleton.
We have the #1 team in the country, the Georgia Bulldogs, a 44-point home favorite versus Kent State. You're not necessarily paying attention to that number, but it sort of slows into this. You're looking at the total here, and all Bulldogs all the time.
No question. For all the gamblers that are watching us right now, I got a big-time ticket for you guys. Get this. My bold prediction for UGA this week against Kent State, the Bulldogs will cover the total by themselves. The total right now is listed at 62. They're covering that by themselves. You talk about one of the more balanced, explosive teams in in college football. They've been so dominant. Unfortunately for Kent State, they get them Week 4, where they're already in rhythm. So me personally, take the over for all the bettors out there, and don't be surprised to see Georgia cover the total by themselves. Won't need any help. No help at all, Kent State.
Are they easily the best team in the country, the Georgia Bulldogs? Do you see anybody beating them out for the national championship, or do you think we're going to see a repeat here?
Right now, I see no one beating them. A lot can happen between now and December, January. But right now, they've been the best team in college football. Stetson Bennett is delivering all the mail you want your mailman to deliver on Saturdays. Running the football, they have it. Throwing the football, they have it. And defensively, I really thought I would see some type of drop-off from what we saw last year with them losing so many players to the National Football League, but they've been steady Freddy throughout 3 weeks of play. So me personally, yes, it's easy. They've been the best team in college football.
I hope everybody at home knows that you were just this quick, B-Mac, like your mailman comment there, because we didn't tee you up on that question. You didn't know it was coming ahead of time. So you're just that fast. We have saved your top 2 bold predictions and almost hot takes for the final 2 ones. You have the number 5 team in the country, Clemson, at 21st ranked Wake Forest this weekend. Wake has not been able to beat Clemson since 2008. What is your bold prediction for the Demon Deacons and the Tigers?
Well, that streak ends Saturday. Wake Forest will beat the Clemson Tigers this Saturday. Book it, print the T-shirts. We will see a major upset within the ACC. I think Wake Forest has everything you need to have to be able to upset the Tigers, not to mention having Sam Hartman back in the saddle is huge. And I think he will be the best quarterback on the football field this Saturday. He has the experience. We saw what he did last year. This is a guy that plays with a lot of confidence, and he's playing against a very, very stout defensive team, especially on the defensive line. They have some outstanding players. They have a rotation, but that won't be enough to slow down Mr. Sam Hartman. So give me Wake Forest beating Clemson. That is my bold prediction in the ACC.
Given what you've seen from Clemson, if they do lose, they're 5 right now. How far do they drop?
Depends on how the game goes. If it's a close nail-biter, game-winning field goal for the Demon Deacons, they probably would drop from 5 to maybe 9. But if it's something that is not really competitive, I think they could easily drop outside of the top 10.
Okay. I do want to mention Jeremy's dad, Russ, is at home watching, and it has to do with this next game here. He is headed down to Michigan. You are predicting something very interesting happening at the Big House this weekend. You have 3-0 Maryland coming to town. What is your bold prediction for Maryland at Michigan this weekend?
Well, I just gave you an upset, right? But if Wake Forest beats Clemson, Amanda, it's an upset, but it's not going to, get a lot of people fired up about what's going on. But this game right here, the Big Ten matchup between Maryland traveling to the Big House, Ann Arbor, to face off against the Wolverines, my bold prediction and the biggest upset for this weekend is Maryland will beat Michigan. Yes, I say it. I believe it. I stand by it. I endorse it. I think this is a trap game for Michigan. They've been so consistent, beating teams they're supposed to beat, dominating them. But this Maryland team is a tricky ball club. Tagovailoa has been extremely efficient and accurate with the football, completing over 70% of his passes. Roman Hemby has been spectacular, a big playmaker in the backfield. They're going to create some plays against Michigan. And we don't really know how good this Michigan team is because they haven't been challenged at all. They haven't been challenged at all. So this is a potential trap game. But more than that, this is upset alert. Bracket busters will happen Saturday. The ultimate bracket buster is happening in Ann Arbor. That's my bold prediction. That's my biggest upset for this weekend. Maryland beating Michigan.
Jeremy's texting his dad to see what he has to say about
Rusty's not happy. Rusty's not happy.
He's not happy because he's heading down to Michigan. And that would truly be, Mac, that would truly shake up the landscape. I mean, could you see Michigan getting into the playoff if they did drop this game and they won out after this?
I do believe there will be a one-loss team to get into the playoffs. But you talk about chaos early in September. Wow, that would be big-time chaos. Like I said, bracket buster. I know we're not in March, but it will feel like March Madness if that happens.
Of course, they'd still have to face off against Ohio State. B-Mac, thank you so much. B-Mac, if you didn't know, has his own podcast along with his cousin, current player Patrick Peterson. So they do react to the Vikings Monday Night Football loss to the Eagles there. Also take a look at their Week 3 matchup against the Lions. And who is the best quarterback in the NFL? B-Mac and Pat P give their opinions. Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.